writing a book, but I've been in it almost 3 decades.
Wow.
And doing film and entertainment, I have learned so much from being around some of the most high-profile people in the world, but also some of the very successful people, some of the most successful people in the world. Yeah. And there are traits that they have that I have learned navigating those worlds, working with some of these big personalities and egos that I think are transferable, whether you're in Hollywood, whether you're in a completely different industry, whether you're just looking to live a more fulfilled life. And so I wanted to write my book about that. I said I wasn't going to write a book until I really had like a drive, a thrust, and a story to tell. Well, I got a bunch of stories to tell.
There's a bunch of stories in this book, and that's what makes it fun, because it's not just someone that's successful giving advice. It's like, no, it happened to me, or look at this moment I had.
Yes.
Question number 1 for me, what made you write Who Better Than You? And then you just told me that you had some experiences you want to share and you want to get it together.
Yes, absolutely. That's what made me write it. I mean, I've always kind of desired to, as a storyteller, which I am, as a movie producer, I always try to figure out what's the purpose of the story, right? How can you have the narrative have an impact on people in a different way other than just telling the story just to tell it? Sure. And so by tying in lessons with things that I have learned, mistakes that I've made, things I've done right, things I've done wrong, what have you, I felt like I could now share with folks who come to me often and say, will you do a masterclass? Wow. Will you mentor me, right? And so this book is kind of the master mentorship that I wish that I had.
Yeah, for real. Why do you believe in 2025? We already got off quite the start for this year. It's the right time for Who Better Than You? You think it's the right time?
Yeah, no question. I think there's never been a better time. We live in an unpredictable world. We live in a world of uncertainty. A lot of people are doubting themselves. They're doubting their place in the world. Yes, they're doubting their value. And you have systems and institutions that are systematically saying that you don't have value. We are not going to acknowledge your value. We're going to do things and put things in place that take away your value. There's never been a more important time for you to be steadfast in what your value is, what you bring to the world, and the fact that you are unique and that there is nobody better than you to have the absolute highest levels of success. I believe that.
Because I know there's a lot of folks that's going to see this interview on our YouTube and read the story I'm going to put out and say, yeah, but I'm not as smart as him. I didn't go to FAMU, or I don't know film, or I'm not a professional. I work at Checkers.
That's all right.
So can it still be me?
100%. This one of the things that it's important for you to realize that I talk about in the book is that it doesn't matter if you're somebody that has got a big personality, walking red carpets, has money, has a famous ass name. It doesn't matter. Right. What matters is how you see yourself, the value that you have, that you perceive to have, and how you get others to perceive that same value in you. That's what matters. And I believe that there are things that you can do every day to strengthen your own value system and your own confidence. You can strengthen it just like a muscle, but you have to work it. One of the things you have to do is realize that the most important voice you're going to hear every day is your own voice. I don't care who you're talking to, who you're dealing with. We're all in situations where you may be meeting with an investor, a boss, somebody that's hiring people, or giving out contracts, whatever it may be. Even if you don't get the result that you want from those folks, their voice is still not more important than yours. So every day, I look myself in the mirror and I tell myself how important I am, how prepared I am, how I have the skills that are necessary to meet whatever challenge that I'm going to come across that day. And I do that because, number one, it's probably going to be the last time I hear it that day, right? But number two, because my voice is the most important voice, and I got to start off every day hearing it from that most important voice. I give my voice that weight.
I like that everyone can at least have that. You have your voice. If you don't have anything else, you have that.
That's correct. The most important one.
Yeah. Well, folks might not think that, but they should know that.
That's your part voice of why I talk about in the book. You have to start to work that muscle, right? We all have insecurities,
nature.
We all have negative thoughts and anxieties, and we all walk into rooms and say, do I belong in this room? Look at the people in this room, right? Am I on their level? Everybody has. I don't care who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the most successful people walk into a room and realize this room is better because I'm in it. Not only do I belong in this room, I'm bringing something to this room that nobody else has. You got to believe that and then double down on it.
All right, the phrase "healthy arrogance." I like that a lot. My folks will tell you.
Okay.
I think I'm the best journalist in Atlanta.
Okay.
I don't
As you
think anyone
should.
can come to this interview and have as much fun with you as I could.
Yep.
I'm sure they can, but I don't believe that.
Okay.
So healthy arrogance. Please talk about that phrasing. I love
Yeah.
that. I want to start using that.
Yeah.
Talk about those two words together. Healthy arrogance.
Absolutely. You know, arrogance for a long time has been a negative thing.
Right.
And there is toxic arrogance, right? There is
Sure,
arrogance
of
that
course.
says, you know, you walk into a room and you say, you know, just look at me,
That's
right?
it.
I'm better than everybody else, right?
it.
I'm a winner because you're a loser, right?
Right.
That's toxic arrogance.
Okay.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the belief that there's nobody more important than you in that room.
Okay.
Right? And nobody else is going to give you that if you don't first believe that yourself. If I don't meet you, shake your hand, look you in your eye, and feel like this brother has got the confidence that he is the best reporter in Atlanta,
Right.
if I don't feel that from you, why would I give that to you? Why would I think that at all if you don't believe it? And you got to believe it so clearly, right? And so strongly, so succinctly that it projects and it becomes pervasive. Right?
Right.
And so when I was first starting out at FAMU and we made our first little tiny movie,
Right.
we were so audacious. We had a black tie premiere and invited everybody, made everybody get dressed up for
Who showed up? Everybody
the
showed
world
up?
premiere. Everybody at that school showed up.
Right.
But we had the audacity to invite a bunch of Hollywood folks and none of them showed up.
Wow.
But the folks at the school, it wasn't that they saw us and said, oh, they're going to be big time Hollywood filmmakers. But what they said was, you know what? They are crazy enough and they believe in themselves so strongly, they might just hit. They might just make it. And I want to be a part of it. I don't want to miss out.
Right.
It was contagious because we believed in it so strongly. That's what I want people to do.
That feels healthy, to believe in yourself.
Correct.
Simply that.
Correct.
Okay, so we're selling that, hey, look, wherever you are, arrogance doesn't have to be a negative. It can be healthy.
Absolutely.
I want to make sure I highlight
Let's reclaim that word.
Let's take that back.
Yes.
I like that. In chapter 2, my favorite chapter, it's early in the book, but it's my favorite chapter.
Okay.
You say, keep your eye on the finish line.
Yes.
And an example you use, and I'm thinking he's going to use it for like a paragraph or two, you went like 10 pages on this. The Falcons in the Super Bowl against the Patriots were up 28-3 with a quarter and a half to play.
Yes. Yes.
Did not finish the deal.
That's right.
Why is it important? That's a great example.
Yeah.
Not very popular one, but a very good example.
Yeah.
Please tell me why it's important to finish the deal. Whatever you're starting, finish the deal. You're not done yet. There's still time on the clock. That's
right. You know what? And it's funny you say not a very popular one, especially here in Atlanta.
Yes.
That's kind of the point. It's painful. It's supposed to be painful.
Got my attention.
Right? And I use the example of Leon Lett, who was the Dallas Cowboy who could
Celebrate
have had
too
a
early.
touchdown in the Super Bowl, but he started celebrating
Too
and
early.
he got caught and he didn't score a touchdown. Somebody stripped the ball for him.
Don Beebe.
That's very, very painful. Don Beebe, right? Oftentimes in life we celebrate too soon. Finish the damn deal is the name of that chapter.
Yeah.
And I believe in that. Because oftentimes before it's over, it ain't over till it's over, right? And I love my Atlanta Falcons fans, y'all know that. But everybody has an example of that, right? One example that I tell in the book was when I made the movie Think Like a Man. And I was so excited about our opening day numbers that
Crazy
Friday.
Crazy numbers.
And they were looking so good. And I called Steve Harvey. And I said, Steve, man, we already made the money back that we spent on the movie in the first day. And I told him, I said, over the course of the weekend, we're going to make, I think it was around $20 million for the whole weekend. And Steve said, oh, that's great, man. He said, but now it's just Friday. Like, you know, is it over? And I said, oh, well, Steve, the way that it works, you know, I'm explaining to Steve Harvey, right? I'm the movie guy. You know, you're not the movie, Steve. Let me explain
You're
it
a
to
comedian.
you. Yeah, exactly. Stay in your lane. And I said, well, you know, there's a whole formula that they do, and based on what happens the opening day, they can figure out, they extrapolate the data for what it's going to make the whole weekend. And Steve said, oh, okay, all right. So, well, listen, if you're happy with that, it's amazing. You've done a great job. Congratulations. And so it could go bigger, but whatever you want to do, brother. And he just hung up the phone.
Okay.
And that's very much his personality.
Right.
And he left me, and I thought about it, and I said, you know what? This ain't over yet. And I went and I called all the actors from the movie: Kevin Hart, Regina Hall, Terrence J, you know, Gabrielle Union, Taraji Henson.
Great cast.
And we were one of the first movies who would take the cast. This is something that I started early in my movie career, taking them to pop up in movie theaters and surprise people.
Very cool.
So it was another reason to go to the movies because you never knew who might show up. Now you got big actors that do this
they
at
do that all the
Marvel
time.
movies and
All
stuff.
the time.
But we were one of the first ones to do it. So I called everybody. I said, guys, it's not over yet. We got to get out there Saturday. We got to get out there Sunday.
Sell it.
Keep going,
Finish
right?
the deal.
It's not over. Finish the damn deal.
Right.
By the time the weekend was over, we had made $10 million more than the estimate was on that Friday.
But still, even though you know you were successful on that Friday, you could have said, "I'm good."
I could have, absolutely.
And obviously that wouldn't have stopped people going to the movie. But you're mentally,
it still would have been a success.
Right.
But I had an outside success. I had a huge success. I had a big dream in full color. That's why I tell people, like, don't think that you can be successful. Think that you can be the biggest version of success that is out there.
That'd be cool.
I want people to have big, big dreams. Because when you dream big, listen, life is hard. You're going to run into challenges. We all do. Sure. And if you have something you're trying to accomplish that's just okay, it'd be kind of cool to do that, right? When you run into something hard, you run into a challenge, you're going to stop because, it's hard and what you're trying to do isn't that big. You need something that is such a big dream that the possibility of accomplishing it will drive you past the challenge.
Wow. Okay. That's mental homework.
Yeah.
You got, like you said, you got to get the mental gym with that one.
Yeah.
I've got two more if it's okay.
Okay.
All right. So you called Shayla your secret weapon.
Yes.
And that's awesome. And I read that and I love that you have to have people like that around you. 100%. How important is to surround yourself? It's hard. It's not easy to surround yourself with people who look out for you and really care about you.
Yes.
They can be around you,
but
not really care about you. How important is that?
You have to protect your energy. And we all have a finite amount of energy that we can give. And we are giving away too much of our energy to things that are not important, things that are draining you and not augmenting you, right? Even with the people that I walked in the room with today, these are people that have been with me for a very long time who I trust, right? Important. I talk about Shayla in the book because she's my right hand. And one of the things I talk about is how people are always trying to get to me. And you should try to get to somebody's right hand because they have an outsized influence on those people. Okay. So you may not be able to get to the person whose name's on the door, but who's got their ear, right?
Who's got a key to that door?
You got it. That's business strategy number one.
Okay.
But the other thing is also surround yourself with people that are augmenting your energy. Surround yourself with people that are helping you to achieve your goals and that are focused on the main thing. You may have somebody that you've known forever, your homeboy, your homegirl, they're your day one. Cool.
Right.
But put them in the box they belong in. Right? They may not need to be a part of your inner circle because you may be a different person than you were in third grade when they sat behind you and cheated off your test. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's not being disloyal to say, okay, our relationship is different now. Now I'm in a different place. Right. So I'm going to surround myself with people that understand and have the same value system that I do.
That's important.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's not always the day ones then.
That's correct. That's right.
100.
Absolutely. Yeah. Because you're not on day one anymore.
Right.
You've changed. So your circle should change.
Your circle should change.
Yeah.
Big time. Last thing for me, mental health, obviously, huge topic.
Yes.
Over the last couple of years, it's become an everyday thing where people are trying to figure out how to kind of have their mental balance, have a good mental health, etc. Do you feel like this book can approach that in a different way? It's not a psychology book. It's not something scary and heavy that people. It's not over someone's head. But can it kind of help with that? I want brothers and sisters, everyone, to buy it and think it's for me and my mental health, and I can find something that can kind of keep me steady. Yeah,
listen, I'm certainly not a doctor, not a psychologist or psychiatrist, and I don't purport to be, but I am somebody that has had some success in a very challenging industry. And if you're somebody that is struggling with confidence, right? Sure. You're somebody that is struggling with your self-assuredness. You're somebody that is wondering, how can I live a better, more fulfilled life? Right. That's who I think this book is for. Okay. And I do think that, putting your mental health first is very, very important. A lot of lessons in the book are about valuing yourself and prioritizing yourself. Yes. Mental health professionals will tell you that that's very, very important. When you give that energy to everybody but yourself, that's how you become vulnerable to having some of the challenges that people that do have mental health challenges, which I have a lot of respect for, that they get into. So it's not a psychiatric book at all, but it is a book about building your own self-confidence and working that confidence muscle. And I do think that can absolutely help you to improve your mental health because it improves your own sense of self.
Who better than you to take care of you?
No one. My man.
I appreciate you.
Absolutely.